Points drop this evening. What are your initial thoughts on your side's performance tonight?
Yeah, disappointment not to get the 3 points, obviously. But even though we dominated the game almost from start to finish without really giving much away, apart from that direct situation in the second half of minute 70, I think one or two situations when they run with some giveaways in the final thirds. We were there. We certainly tried. The spirit, the energy. Unquestionable, the willingness to do it, but we liked that final ball, that spark to generate something to open them up, and certainly more shots on target as well.
Why do you think that was maybe lacking this evening? Is it personnel? Is it tactics? What do you think is the issue converting that possession, as you say, into?
I don't want to discuss that again. We know that.
So how do you maybe rethink now? Is back-to-back games without scoring. What do you need? What can you change?
Yeah, good time to reflect. We have a few days now before the PSV game, so that's the time to do it.
So what can you change? There's not
that's
huge.
what I'm gonna think. Yeah.
So at the moment, it's analyse the weekend and then figure things out for Tuesday.
Yeah.
Outside of that, Liverpool are playing this evening, winning against Newcastle. The gap could be 13 points.
It's about us. It's about winning. No, it's about our games. That's the only thing we can control. It was the same a week ago, 10 days ago, 2 months ago. That's the only thing we can do.
How are the players in there? Have you spoken to them? What's the mood like?
Very disappointing not to win the game. Obviously, we are here and putting everything that we possibly can, and the effort that they put in is unbelievable. The spirit that they have. So we want to win. We're here to win.
The spirit among them seems good, though. Do you need to help them be picked up at all with these disappointments, or do they sort of take care of themselves?
We are there for anything that they need. They know that we've been together for such a long time, and they are a joy to work with, and we're just looking forward. And individually, all of us, how can we add something just to create that spark and win more games? That's it.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mikel.
The Arsenal failed to score in back-to-back matches in the Premier League. Why didn't it happen tonight, Martin?
It didn't happen because we've got Trossard, Marino and a young 17-year-old playing in the front three. And, of course, in the end, that's crippled the team. It's about sorting out the top of the side. I think throughout the team, it looked solid at the back, defended really well. Both teams did, actually. I don't think it was the poorest of games. I think it was just a good, solid contest. Mostly Arsenal taking the game to Forest, 65% possession, but just couldn't find the solutions at the top of the team. But I think with what's left to pick from, I don't think we should be too surprised with that.
Have the injuries in Arsenal's attack cost them the title this season?
Well, it certainly hasn't helped, of course, but I think that when you don't have a centre forward, when you don't have someone who's going to find the net for you, and you feel as if all you're relying on is maybe heavy set pieces in the game, then it affects you psychologically in the dressing room. There's no question about that. You're going onto the field of play and you think you're really going to have to play through. You're going to really have to be fantastic. Every single pass in and around the penalty has got to be so accurate, and it's not happening for the Arsenal at this minute. And then the set pieces, one or two actually were reasonably dangerous, but overall
they dealt well with that Forest, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
The combination of that there, the set pieces not working to their advantage, and also the fact that they would maybe almost have to walk the ball into the net, Jules. I think psychologically it starts to play with you.
I think Calafiori as well was getting some joy, and I think the decision was made. He's on a booking. Let's take him off. And maybe Arsenal's chance went at that moment because they was finding a solution. He hit the post with one. It was difficult for Forest to deal with him. You might have kept him on, Martin.
That's an interesting one, Matt, because I personally, if he wasn't injured, I would have kept him on.
Take the risk.
Yeah, I would have taken the risk. Well, why not? I know the news might have been coming through from Anfield, all of that type of stuff, but I still think at the end of it, you keep him on because he was actually a bit of a danger. As I said, conversely, he might have been a wee bit of a...
Arsenal have suffered so much with sending off, so I think they probably would have thought, OK, let's get him off. Let's make the change. Tierney came on actually and did well and nearly grabbed a goal of his own from a set piece, but it wasn't to be.
It's as if you knew, Martin, because there's more news from Anfield. They've just gone 2-0 up.
They've gone 2-0.
They've gone 2-0 up now, and if they hold on for a victory against Newcastle, that one's in the second half. It was a later kickoff. It kicked off at 8:15, so they're still in play there. If they hold on and get all 3 points, it's going to be a 13-point lead at the top of the table. Can you see Arsenal catching them?
Not at all. There's two things have to happen. First of all, Arsenal have to win the games, and that's not a given by any stretch of the imagination. Also, then you're talking about Liverpool dropping a lot of points. And while they will do between now and the end of the season, because they're still heavily involved in other competitions, at the end of it all, I think tonight's result was just about finished it.
Martin, I always love your positivity, but have you conceded the title yet?
Well, you're going to keep playing for the shirt. You're going to keep going for it. But obviously now you have to adjust your targets. You know, the thing is, just because you can't be champions, you can't sling it all away. There's definitely a chance now, obviously, if they don't score goals, then you don't want them slipping out in that top four. So tonight now, when you come away with a point, it's very important that Forest don't catch up Arsenal and they get back into winning ways. Have to win their next game. They've got to rest now before they play PSV. But essentially their next game is away at Manchester United, and they certainly have to win that one. And there's a lot of history on that game.
Guys, we have Nuno Espirito Santo just behind us. Please let him in to come and join us.
Well done.
Nuno,
Congratulations, well done.
thank you so much for coming out to talk to us. Yeah, it's a point tonight against Arsenal. Do you see it as a good point?
I see as a good point, definitely, because it was a good game. It was a tough game. Arsenal is such a good team, very hard to control, but today we were solid, we were compact, the help was there, the interconnection to sustain the attacks was there, so it's a good game.
I saw you play recently, the 7-0 against Brighton, and you played with a 5 that day, and you changed. And today I wondered, okay, will you go with it? But you went with a 4. What was the reason for that? Did you need more bodies in the midfield area
Today?
Because I know you went to a 5
So
you created it a different way.
Yeah, but as Arsenal doesn't have a striker, so Merino playing in that position, there's no need to an extra body. So the overload will be in the midfield, so it drops. It's about containing the midfield.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, just that what you have, I think, is you have the team working exceptionally hard. The minute that you lose the ball, you're right back. And it's interesting now because, you know, you've actually attacked from really deep positions.
Yeah.
Do you feel that between now and the end of the season that is something that, listen, that's been working for you? Might as well continue that there because you've got plenty of pace up front and you've got Wood scoring goal, which is unbelievable. Or is it just, listen, we'll just go with whatever is next on our agenda?
Now, the team needs definitely to give a step up in terms of the defensive shape. But Arsenal is a very difficult team to do that because they overload too much on the wide areas. Even the central halves play next to your box, so it's really difficult to have your wingers on the transition points. But definitely, this is one thing that we should have because it's one of our strengths, the way we recover and go with our speed. We had a couple this evening. It didn't work out, but definitely is one of our strengths.
And I also, just to add this little point, I'm very uncomfortable asking another manager questions like that. Okay.
No, feel free to do it.
Thank you for answering it. Okay, and then I'll have some tea with you later on.
Okay, it will be a pleasure.
Nuno, it is another good point, and because of the recent results, it was 3 defeats in the last 4 Premier League games. How important was it just to keep building and try and keep yourselves in that top 4? Because at some point, the confidence, did it ever waver a bit?
It's nothing to do with the points, with the table. Today was about finding ourselves.
I told you it would say that.
Do you know what? I find this amazing what you're doing because obviously when you think where you finished 6 points above the bottom of the table at the end of last season, and if I look through the names of the players, they've all been, and you yourself, you were at Spurs, you've all been at big clubs and you've all come together, and what you're doing right now is quite remarkable, isn't it? Into 3rd place. How are you sustaining it? How have you got this reaction?
To sustain is very difficult. The expectations are very high around us.
It's changing now.
Yeah, but it's the same group of players, and what gives our main strength is our bond. The players really try to help each other. The team spirit is always there. Then the results can come or not, but this you can never lose because the success is about that.
And are you enjoying it more than ever before? Because you've had 2 finishes, didn't you, in the top 7 for Wolves?
Yeah.
And then you went on a different journey.
Yeah.
How is it for you now?
It's been fantastic, our journey. It's been fantastic. The fans with us. Today the legs were not there. The atmosphere gave us this extra run. It's about being together and enjoying this journey, knowing that it's up and downs. It's all part of the journey. We've come from a down moment. Now we'll try to go up again and see if we can do it. It's a long way to go.
It must feel like you're getting closer, though. It must feel like it. If you started thinking about what it would be like playing in Europe next season, a lot of midweek matches.
We try to avoid those thoughts.
You do.
Don't get distracted.
Martin O'Neill next to me here, he's already dreaming of it, seeing it back here
You
again.
already made it.
No, thank you very much. Yeah, actually, I did. Right, okay.
Yeah, I know.
This is my last piece of sycophancy. You've done brilliantly.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Nuno, thank you for coming out to talk
Thank
to
you.
us. We
It was a
appreciate
pleasure.
you coming
Once
out
again.
here.
Jules,
Thank you so
very good.
much.
Martin, a pleasure.
What a remarkable job he's done, Martin.
Oh, it's absolutely super. As Martin said, you know, he takes over from the position they're in. I heard the players. I don't actually talk to the players, but I heard the news coming through that the pre-season was really tough. It was really good because he was working with the players. It was his first opportunity really to get them, you know. He came in last season at the time that he did do, but really getting the pre-season, getting to know the players inside out, working with them on a daily basis, bit of sun on their back, things like this here. And apparently they really worked exceptionally hard. And I think that stood them in really good stead. You know, yes, they were a wee bit tired there today. Maybe the possibility that they've only used the 23 players, that might have something to do with it. But overall, there is, as he mentioned, a really good spirit about them. And the point is this here, you talk about spirits around about the team. Martin, I'll tell you, yes, the players can have that, but really it does come from the manager. And I think that he has helped to invoke that spirit that is very strong at this minute.
Well, he is getting one step closer, game by game, to giving the players and the fans of this club the dream that they want of playing in Europe next season. For Arsenal, though, it's just a point tonight. Let's get some reaction from their dressing room now. Leandro Trossard's been talking to Danny Jameson.
Leandro, 0-0 draw on the road. What are your initial thoughts after that?
I think we played well today. We were dominant throughout the whole game, I think. But then, it happened. The goals, they happen in the boxes, and I think we defended really well. But then up top, we need to try and create more and then, score goals, because that's football all about.
What do you think is lacking in that final third at the moment?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I think the effort is there, and we try, and then, I think one moment needs to click again, and then the goals will come. So it's hard to find a solution on that, but we just need to keep pushing for that.
Is it just individuals? I know Mikel Marino is playing out of position as a central striker. Does he need more help from the players around him? Is it a tactical thing?
As I said, I don't have an answer on that, because I think we would have been scoring a lot of goals at the moment. I think it's just in general. We know also when the players are out, we have to find solutions, and that's up to everyone, the staff and the players as well. But I don't think it's about effort, because I think, today we played quite well. We're dominant, as I said. We had a lot of possession, and then it's about scoring goals, and hopefully we'll click soon, and then goals will come.
So until it does start to click, what do you need to do? Is it just about sticking together, trying new things, different things on the pitch at the training ground?
Yeah, of course, sticking together. I don't think that's an issue with us. We are a good group, and just keep pushing as we are doing. I don't think there's any magic ingredient, I would say. It's just about keep believing and keep going for it.
It's a title race with such small margins anyway, but dropping 2 more points tonight, do you and the group still believe you can win the league title? Do you have to believe you can still win it?
Yeah, you always have to believe, but I don't think we need to look ahead at the moment. We just need to keep thinking about the next game, and that's how it is at the moment. Now we don't play at the weekend, and then we have an important game in the Champions League, so that's what we need to focus on.
Appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
And until it's mathematically impossible, that will be what the Arsenal players and what Mikel Arteta says, Martin. But Leandro Trossard quite rightly points out that just around the corner, huge game in the Champions League. The round of 16 comes, and they've got PSV away from home first.
Yeah, 6 days rest between now and then, of course, out of the FA Cup as they were earlier in the season. So they'll be trying to get Martinelli and Saka back again before the end of the season. That's what they can hope for. But, looking at Trossard, look, he's a player that has been coming off the bench, hasn't he, and filling in. You wouldn't expect him to really fly past his fullback, to create things. And I think it's that final third. Look at Liverpool, and if we're going to say tonight that, concede the title to them, I mean, look at the firepower that they've got available in those areas. And I think from an Arsenal point of view, with all these players injured, and even then you could say, OK, they perhaps needed someone else. Certainly that will happen in the summer. Without doubt that will happen. I'm pretty certain of it. But for now, it's too late.
for now it's turning out to be the difference in this title race. You can understand Leandro Trossard looking deflated and frustrated there. And we're going to get the thoughts of Mikel Arteta after the break.